In the soft light of morning, the forest holds its breath. A hush moves through the trees, and somewhere in that stillness, a black bear moves too. They are the quiet giants of North Carolina, strong enough to shape the land, gentle enough to vanish into it. Across our state, black bears are making a comeback, bigger than most people imagine and closer than most people realize. But what does it mean when one of our largest wild animals is quietly returning to live alongside us? I'm Eleanor Spicer Rice, and this is North Carolina, naturally.
Eastern North Carolina is home to the largest population density of black bears on the planet. Having a large population of black bears means that we have kept our habitat healthy enough that we can support a keystone species like the black bear.
To find out more, I met with Dr. Mike Cove, head of Mammalogy at North Carolina Museum of Natural Sciences.
And I have the best job there is because I get to study all different types of mammals, from small rodents and bats and shrews all the way up to black bears, and even, you could see some of the vertebral columns of the great whales that we have. Actually, I'll tell you a little secret. My oldest daughter's name is Ursula, which means little she-bear. Yes. Black bears and bears in general hold a special place in my heart.
Black bears once lived in every county of North Carolina. Now they thrive mostly along our eastern and western edges, and they're expanding into the Piedmont. Their comeback tells us something hopeful. Our ecosystems are still wild enough to hold giants.
To be able to hold an animal like this in the ecosystem, as big as that guy right there, it must mean that our ecosystem is pretty healthy, that we're still allowing space for them. Is that right?
Yeah, and I mean, they are adaptable, right? So if you go out to places like Asheville, it's impressive to see the urban bears that they have out in Asheville, right? And they're finding their spaces.
For many people, that can feel a little too close for comfort.
We think of lions and tigers and bears, oh my, as things that we should be frightened of. And while we should be cautious around our black bears, we should be aware of them and respectful of them. They're nothing to fear. They're wonderful animals and part of our natural world.
They're not moving toward us. They're returning to the places that were once theirs, adapting to a world that's changed around them. Most bears would rather keep their distance, raising their cubs quietly and moving on long before we notice.
And so for me and black bears, there's a difference between being cautious and wary and being frightened of it.
Yeah, and I think, if you ask my daughter, she'll say, if you don't bother them, they won't bother you, right? And I think that's a good motto to have around any wild animals, right?
Their presence means our forests are still strong enough to hold life this large. When we make room for bears, we make room for every species that depends on the same clean water, healthy woods, and open land.
They do play a lot of these important functions in the environment. They are dispersing seeds. They are influencing the distribution, abundance, and behavior of some of the smaller prey species and other carnivores. And so those all have cascading effects throughout the environment and just, have this really important outsized role.
It's like a tower of blocks, like a Jenga tower or something.
Yeah.
And bears are kind of near the bottom. If you pull one out, everything is going to fall down, basically.
Right, totally.
In ways that you wouldn't expect.
Right, absolutely, yeah.
Bears tend the earth in their own way. They feast on berries and nuts, spreading seeds as they wander. They clear the land of carcasses and insects, recycling nutrients back to the soil, a kind of quiet caretaking. They remind us that gentleness and power can share the same heartbeat. This video is sponsored by the Heart of North Carolina Visitors Bureau, offering small-town gems with big-time fun. To learn more about black bears, read my story in the November 2025 issue of Our State magazine or online at ourstate.com. And to see more videos like this, subscribe to the Our State YouTube channel.